stocks surging on the heels of the midterm election results. The Dow closing up a whopping 545 points. So, folks, is the Republican win in the Senate the cause of this, or is it the expectation of gridlock in the House that's driving the rally?
It's both, David. It's a situation where the fact that bad things are not going to happen, that's a good thing, except on the tax front, nothing will happen. But the other thing that's out there is there looks like there's perking the beginnings of a trade deal with China involving oil. China has been quietly knocking down tariffs a little bit. So I think the markets see that. If you resolve that, today is just the hors d'oeuvre.
But I think absolutely, David, you're completely right. Not only in charge of the Senate, we can still see a progress on putting conservative justices on the courts around the country and having the Senate in Republican hands, which, by the way, you know, going into yesterday, so many races were razor thin. It really was unclear that the GOP was going to hold the Senate, but they also are a tremendous speed bump against, obviously, impeachment, investigations, and also legislation that might come out of the House, which would not be good for the economy.
It's all about the gridlock. We've talked about this on and on and on and on. You know that the market loves nothing better than to see split government. This was it in spades. I don't actually think that the Senate had a big impact on it. I think we all knew. What? Well, it didn't. We all knew the Senate was going to stay with the Republicans. We didn't know by how many seats. I happen to predict 3. I think that's what it's going to be. But this is gridlock. And here's the good news. It's going to stay this way for a while, and the market's going to love it.
Listen, I think the most important thing to understand is that gridlock may be good, but unity is even greater. Think about the fiscal policies we just pushed through since 2016. And what did the market do? Rip higher. Where are income wages? Exceptionally higher. Where are we out of? Secular stagnation that the previous administration said we could never get out of. I'm sorry, but this economy is doing well because we had a united Congress that was in line with our administration. So I think this is digestible gridlock. You saw the dollar actually come down a little bit. That helped the market. You saw bonds go up, which took yields down. That's good for the market. You're just not going to see any big fiscal plans or policies come through to help take the economy the next leg higher.
The equivalent of a tax cut is deregulation. Cost the economy $2 trillion a year. Real progress has been made. Controlling the Senate means that can continue. There's no way the House can stop it. So if the FDA, EPA, and other agencies, Federal Communications Commission, that deregulation ball is going to continue to roll, and it's the equivalent of a big tax cut.
And you cannot underestimate the importance of having the Senate with such a much larger majority than before. This is an institution that approves all the justices, all of the judges who have an enormous influence on business in America.
I also think it's worth. I think it's
also. Of course it is. They have a lot of influence in what happens to businesses in America.
They had it before. Yes, they're going to be able to continue to approve judges, but I honestly don't believe that's in the market's mind.
If the Senate had gone Democrat, it would have been a totally different market outlook today and a totally different sentiment. And I would argue that literally, if you looked at all the top 6 or 7 contested races in the Senate, the margins were incredibly narrow. And it was conceivable, if you'd had the blue wave that Nancy Pelosi was dreaming of, that the Senate would have gone Republican. But I want to make one other point, which is actually what we have now is a continuation of what's been the case, because the House has passed an enormous number of bills, hundreds of bills under Paul Ryan. 569 are stacked up waiting for attention in the Senate. So, you know, guess what? We've had a Republican House. It really has not meant that much.
I got to say one thing, though, that there is no lonelier job in Washington these days than being a Republican in the House. And Congresswoman Cheney came out with a letter today to her colleagues, her Republican colleagues, saying, we got to stand firm. We got to stand our ground. It's going to be hard not to be bowled over. But frankly, it's going to be very hard to do that.
Hey,
can I play my small violin?
Oh, I would just say the loneliest job in Washington, D.C. is actually Attorney General, in case you didn't see the news today.
We're going to be talking about that in the next block. Yes.
I know, but I just thought I'd let that be said. But the Financial Services Committee is going to be led by Maxine Waters, and what worries me the most is the rhetoric that comes out of there and what that does to the psyche, because financial institutions don't like uncertainty. So if they hear a lot of rhetoric coming out of the Financial Services Committee,
that's why the increased margin in the Senate is so important. The noises from the House aren't going to mean much, and they'll just overplay their hand, which will help the Republicans in 2020. So, and the other thing on the Republican side, maybe they'll learn now Communications 101. They got rolled over on health care in these elections because they couldn't explain anything. Say on taxes, calling it reform instead of tax cuts. Sharpen their message, and they'll be in good shape for 2020.